Hi, I'm Bridget, and thank you so much for joining me today for this gentle yoga stretch. And we're going to get started today all the way back lying down, so take your time to get there. Take a moment to get comfortable, keep the knees bent, and then when you're ready, we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest and just rock a little bit from side to side. Just starting with a little bit of gentle movement. Closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just taking a moment to connect with the breath. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. And then just gently coming back to center, coming back to stillness. We're going to cross the right foot over the top of the left, grab a hold of the toes, and then just sort of press the feet away from the body. You should feel a nice little stretch through the tops of the feet. Nice strengthening of the ankles. And then release and cross the left foot over the right this time. Grab a hold of the feet and then just press them away from you. Staying with those nice long deep breaths here. And then we'll release, bring the feet back down to the mat, keeping the knees bent. We're going to find our reclined pigeon pose. So we're going to cross the right foot in front of the left knee and then interlace the hands behind that left leg and then draw both legs in towards you. Almost see if you can energetically press that right knee away from the body. And we're nice and active through the feet here. So drawing the toes back towards the knees. Find the breath. You should feel like a really nice stretch through that right hip, through the glutes. And while you're here, you might like to straighten through that left leg and just draw a couple of circles with the toes. And then we'll gently unravel, so bringing the feet back down to the mat. And we'll take it to the other side. So crossing the left foot in front of the right knee this time, and then interlace the hands behind that right leg, draw them in towards you, and see if you can press that left knee away. Nice and active through the toes, so draw them back towards the knees. Closing the eyes or just softening the gaze here. Slowing down the breath. And again, you might like to straighten through the right leg, draw a couple of circles with the toes, one way, and then the other. And then we'll release, bring the feet back down to the mat, and then we're going to send the legs out nice and long. We're going to find our banana pose. So a nice, gentle little side body stretch, a full body stretch. So we're going to walk the feet over to the left corner of our mat and then shuffle the rest of the body over towards the right edge of our mat. And then we move the shoulders and reach the arms up over towards the top left corner of our mat. So from here, you can cross the right foot over the left to deepen the stretch a little bit more. And you might like to take a hold of the right wrist and then just draw it over to the left a little bit more. You can keep the eyes closed, but just stay with the breath. Breathing into the side body. And then slowly we're going to make our way back to center. So uncross the feet. We come back to center, move the shoulders back to the center of your mat, and we'll take it to the other side. So this time we're going to bring the feet over to the right corner of our mat. Shuffle the body over towards the left edge and then the shoulders over towards the right, reaching the hands up and overhead towards the top right corner. And then again, if you'd like to make this stretch a little bit deeper, you can cross that left foot over the top of the right and then maybe take a hold of the left wrist and just draw it over towards the right side. Find the breath again here. Maybe just checking in with how you feel, noticing where the mind's at. We're not judging anything. As always, just noticing, becoming really present for your practice today. Breathing into the left side body. Nice, gentle opening. And then gently we'll make our way back to center. Bringing the hips and the shoulders back, bringing the arms back to your side. We're going to bend into the knees again and just gently roll onto one side. Take your time and then coming all the way onto the belly. We're going to find our broken wing pose from here, and I really love this one because it just is a really nice opening through the shoulders and you can adjust it to make it feel right for you. So once you're down on your belly, we're going to send the right arm out first. So we'll start by sending it just straight out to the side. See if you can draw that right shoulder away from the ear. And then slowly roll onto the right side of the body. You can step that left foot down behind the right leg, just resting on the side of the head. You've got that left hand in front of you for support. If you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, you might like to reach that left hand behind you, opening up through the shoulders a little bit more, so squeezing them back together. If this doesn't feel like enough of a stretch, you can come back onto the belly, and instead of sending the arm out straight, you can bring it into that 90-degree angle, like a little cactus arm, and then again rolling back onto the right side of the body. So you might like to try it out and see how it feels. Finding what works for you. Breathing into that right shoulder, the right arm. You should feel a nice stretch here. Stay with the breath. And then slowly come back down onto the belly and we'll take it to the other side. So again, we're going to start with the arm out straight first. So left arm this side out to the side. And then we're going to roll onto the left side of the body. Step that right foot behind the left leg. Rest on the side of the head. You can stay here. You might like to reach that right hand behind you and then squeeze the shoulders back together. Really pressing down into the floor or into your mat with that left arm. If this doesn't feel like enough of a stretch, again, you can take that 90-degree angle instead, but just see how you feel on this side. You might notice that one side is a little bit more open than the other. Just allowing yourself to be where you're at today. Breathing deeply, sending the breath throughout the body, sending the breath to that shoulder. And then slowly we'll come back onto the belly, unravel, and we're going to make our way up through our tabletop, so up through all fours. And we are going to find our shoelace pose. So we're going to bring the right knee to the center of our mat, lift the left knee up and cross it over the right. So you've got right knee in front and left leg crossed over. Then we're going to open up the toes to about as wide as our yoga mat and then walk the hands back. Sitting down between the feet. And then just stacking the knees, you've got the feet out to either side, getting nice and tall through the spine here. So finding that length, a nice long line from the top of the head right down to the tailbone. Drop the shoulders away from the ears with an exhale. And you should start to feel the outsides of the hips starting to open. You might like to stay here with hands just, or fingertips just down towards your mat or down towards the feet. Or you might like to clasp opposite elbows behind you. If you would like another option, you can start to fold forward over the legs here. So walking the hands forward, letting the head and the neck get really heavy. This is going to deepen the stretch a little bit here. See if you can keep both hip points pressing down into your mat. Coming back to the breath. Close down the eyes if it feels comfortable. And we're really using this practice today to go inward. Just be with the body, letting go of anything that came before this practice, and anything that you've got coming after, allowing yourself to be in the moment. And slowly we'll make our way out of this one. So walking the hands back in if you've been in that forward fold. And then we're going to come back up onto the hands and knees, unravel the legs, and then we'll take it to the other side. So this time we're going to walk the left knee to center, pick the right knee up and cross it behind that left leg. Then we walk the toes, or bring the toes as wide as the yoga mat, and walk the hands back. Coming to sit down between the legs, and you might need to adjust a little bit when you get there. So we've got the left knee stacked above the right and the feet out to the side. So again, you can stay here with that nice long spine. On an exhale, drop the shoulders. You might just like to keep your fingertips down towards the mat here, or clasping opposite elbows. If you chose that variation for the last one, you might like to see if you can cross the opposite way, if that makes sense. So opposite hand on top. And staying with that length in the spine. Or you might like to find that forward fold. So finding an option that feels best today. And you might notice that what feels best for today might be different than what you might usually go with. Just knowing that every day is different. Just meeting yourself where you're at. Noticing the breath as it passes, moving through the body, and then gently coming back to seated if you've been in that forward fold, and we'll make our way back to our tabletop. So coming back onto the hands and the knees, we unravel the legs. Find that nice tabletop position, so stacking the shoulders above the wrists, spreading the fingers really nice and wide, and then pressing down into all 10 fingerprints. We draw the shoulders away from the ears and stack the hips above the knees. And before we move from here, we'll just take a couple of hip circles. So we're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest, send it out to the side, back and around in towards the chest, out to the side, back, and one more on this side. We draw that right knee in, send it out to the side, back, and we bring the right knee back to meet the left, and then we'll take it to the other side. So we're nice and active through the core here, so drawing the belly button back towards the spine, nice and strong through the arms, really pressing down through the fingers. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw that left knee in towards the chest, send it out to the side, back, around, 2 more just like that. And last one. And we bring the left knee back to meet the right. From here, we're going to make our way to a comfortable seated position. So just cross one foot over the other, walk it back to seated, and then find the most comfortable seated position that works for you. So I just have my ankles crossed here, sitting up nice and tall again here. Find that nice long line from the top of the head right down to the tailbone. And on an exhale, let the shoulders drop. Closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable, or just soften the gaze. Come back to the breath. And then you can keep the eyes closed here as we draw a couple of circles with the nose. So on an exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest. And then tracing those nice big circles with the nose one way. And then back the other way. Bringing the chin back down towards the chest and then lifting the head back up to center. From here, we're going to find our half butterfly pose. So we'll send the right leg out at about a 45-degree angle and then draw that left knee in towards us. We'll start to shift the upper body to face towards that right foot, get nice and tall through the spine, drop the shoulders, and then start to round the upper body forward over that right leg. Just letting the hands rest wherever feels comfortable. We're nice and active through that right foot, so drawing the toes back towards you. You can give that right knee a nice generous bend here as well. And we're just breathing into the back of that right leg. And when you're ready, we'll gently make our way back up to seated. So rolling up through the spine, let the head and the neck come up last. Take your time to get there. And then when you're ready, we will take it to the other side. So we'll send the left leg out to the side this time and then draw that right foot in towards you. Getting nice and tall through the spine, we start to shift the upper body to face towards that left foot this time. And then on an exhale, we start to round over that left leg. Relaxing through the head and the neck here. Again, we're nice and active through the toes, so drawing those left toes back towards you. You can bring a nice little bend into that left knee if it feels more comfortable. Relax through the shoulders. Relax the eyebrows and the jaw. And then slowly we're going to roll it back up to seated. So starting at the base of the spine, walking the hands back in. Let the head and the neck come up last. And then draw that left foot back in towards you. From here, we're going to find our Baddha Konasana. So bringing the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall apart. You might need to adjust how far the feet are away from you. And then getting nice and tall through the spine again here. So if you feel like you're starting to round back and you can't send those hip points forward, you might like to grab a cushion or a block or a book or something that you can sit up onto just to give you a little bit more space here. Again, drop the shoulders. We start to draw the knees down towards our mat. And then we're going to find a forward fold from here. If you'd like to stay seated with that length through the spine, then you can do that as well. But otherwise, we'll deepen our stretch by rounding forward, walking the hands in front of you. Again, relax through the head and the neck. Relax through the shoulders. Maybe closing down the eyes. And then gently we'll roll it back up just like we did before. Let the head and the neck come up last. And then come back to whatever seated position feels most comfortable. So you might like to sit on the knees, cross the feet, or you might like to keep the legs in front of you. Wherever you are, we're just going to take a nice gentle twist before we close our practice. So we'll take the right hand over to the left knee or just to the side of that left leg. And then inhale, we get nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, we twist to the left side, just walking those left fingertips behind you. Inhale, find length, and exhale, we twist. You might like to turn the head to look past that left shoulder. And then on an exhale, we'll gently come back to center and take it to the other side. So this time we'll take the left hand to the right knee or the side of the right leg, walk the right fingertips behind and inhale to get nice and tall through the spine. Exhale to twist. Inhale, we find length, and exhale, we twist. You might like to look past that right shoulder. And then on an exhale, we'll come back to center and just closing down the eyes, finding a moment of stillness here as we close our practice in seated. If you'd like to make your way to Shavasana, then you can do that now. Or if you would like to add on to your practice, then you can do that now as well. Otherwise, we'll bring the hands together at heart space and bow through the head and the neck. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today, and I hope you have an amazing day ahead of you. Namaste.